Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So in this session we will discuss about smart supply chains. So we will discuss about the evolution of smart supply chain, and we will go through some structured definition of smart supply chain. We will compare the traditional supply chain with the smart supply chain, and we will discuss about some key components of supply chain and how this smart supply chain will lead to resilience, efficiency and sustainability, and then in the end we will discuss about the implementation of smart supply chain. So evolution of smart supply chain. So the concept of smart supply chain has evolved in response to the increasing complexity and interconnectedness of global supply network, right. So the thing here is, because now after the globalization there is no limited boundary, right. So businesses are going overseas. So in that way the supply chain has grown more complex, and complex means there are n number of stakeholders in any supply chain. Stakeholder can be from any part of the world, right. So saying that means there is the problem of so many stakeholders connecting those stakeholders at common platform, because if those stakeholders are there, obviously their role in making the decision will be in some or other way will be affected. So we need to connect all those stakeholders, widespread stakeholders, right, and obviously how, coupled with advancements in technology and data analytics, right. So you can see just the history of this when we started talking about scientific management and assembly line by our some quality gurus or production pioneers, right, production manager Frederick Taylor and Henry Ford, when we talked about scientific management and assembly line, and then these principles were based on optimizing the production processes and improving your inventory, right. So how you can improve the inventory levels, minimum inventory, then give rise to the term of zero inventory or just in time inventory, right. But still in many organizations we are struggling to maintain just in time inventory or zero inventory, because it is required, because the future is very uncertain. We never know what will happen through the supply chain, and then we are maintaining some safety stock level, right. So then we talked about globalization led to the expansion of supply chains, which is obvious. Now we are not limited. If we are manufacturing here in India, we should outsource the raw material, or we should purchase the raw material only from India, or if we are outsourcing some manufacturing also, that should be outsourced in India only, right. So you believe me, if you will outsource the manufacturing sub assemblies to some other part of the world, right, and then transportation cost, and then again all those logistics cost will be there, but believe me, if you will do that, instead of producing here, you will be more cheaper, because there the technology is so efficient. Maybe you are exporting there, processing there, and again selling back in India, right. So that way the market is open, right. You can outsource from anywhere, you can purchase the material from anywhere, and then you can sell anywhere. Having said that, you have obviously access to bigger market, new market, but then the cost of setting up the facilities, the supply chain is also very huge, right. So and it's not only the cost, then we are talking about in this era how we will manage the information, how will it collect the data. Obviously then that much big data will be collected through all the stakeholders, right. Anyone can be seller, anyone can be buyer, how we can integrate with our factory, smart industry, how we can create that user interface where all those customers can interact, can place orders from anywhere, right, and how we can achieve the desired level of automation, right. So, the expansion also introduced new challenges, which is obviously related to now you expanded to whole world, but then coordination, visibility, risk management. If you have some vendors overseas and then during shutdown or any, like if you are importing some raw material from Russia. So, right now the situation you can just imagine when the Russian-Ukraine war is going on, right. So, that is one point, and then maybe the geopolitical scenario is like that, or maybe some disaster is there, or maybe anything can go wrong at any point of time, right. So, these are the challenges how you will manage. So, obviously the technology, the latest technology, computers have helped us, to just plan in advance in that way, and we can analyze the risk, right. So, that plus point with us is that now we can go for we can predict the future up to some extent, and then we can make the decision. So, you can see ERP, enterprise resource planning system, to integrate various functions such as inventory management, procurement you can integrate, production planning you can integrate, and then it is up to you how many modules you can integrate in your ERP or SAP solution. Even the employees working in your organization, you can maintain the record of all the employees. How many employees are working at different levels, the skill set they are having, the training program they need, all those things you can have within your system, your enterprise resource planning, right. And then we are talking about the smart technology, how we can utilize that, and we can have access to real time visibility to supply chain operations, enable predictive analytics for demand forecasting, and we can optimize the inventory, right. So, that will also help you to enhance the collaboration among the various players. So, smart supply chains are characterized by their ability to leverage data driven insights, automation, and connectivity to improve agility, efficiency, and resilience, right. So, your supply chain will be more agile. Quickly you can adapt to the dynamic situations, anything going wrong in the outside environment, you can adapt quickly, and you will be more efficient, right. And disruptions will be just outside, whatever is happening, your supply chain is disruption free. How you can ensure that? That will only be ensured once you have the alternatives. If alternative 1 is cut down, then how alternative 2nd can supply, how alternative 3rd can work, right. So, those all things are available with you. So, another important aspect of supply chains is the integration of sustainability. Like in digital supply chain also we talked about reducing the environmental footprint or carbon footprint. First you need to track what carbon footprint you are leaving, right. So, throughout all the production process, whenever you are manufacturing, whenever you are delivering the product, all the stages you can record how much carbon footprint you are leaving, right. First record the carbon footprint, then you can take the steps how we can reduce at different levels, right. So, then you can go for green sourcing, right, and then you can pick those suppliers who are taking care of maybe green packaging, or in that way green manufacturing strategies, how they are minimizing the depletion of the environment. So, those strategies they are implementing. So, concepts like Industry 4.0, which emphasizes the integration of cyber physical system, cloud computing, and AI, right, and these are shaping the future of the supply chain. Instead of we are making the decision how Industry 4.0 embedded supply chains can make decisions for us, right. So, when you are sitting at your home, how you efficiently, how easily that eco-friendly system is there, that you can place the order, you can pick different brand, different size, different varieties, and then you can easily get the delivery at your doorstep, and easy payment options are there. You can track your movement of the material, and this information, because recorded digitally, so then this will be shared by with everyone, right? So now if I'll quote one example here. If you are going to restaurant and then taking food, it is more costly for the restaurant, right? So when you are placing online, it is cheaper for the restaurant also, and that's why you are getting some rebates, some coupons also. Because if you are going to my restaurant, you will sit there for 1 hour, you will enjoy the amenities, and then AC is working, staff is there to help you. But if you are placing order online, my 24 hours people are working and in shifts, and then they are preparing, just packaging like anything, and no, those serving people are required. We need not to maintain that much space, and within the same maybe that capacity we can serve more number of customers. So we are efficient in that way, so that margin will be, efficiency will be shared with everyone. As a customer also you will get benefit, as a delivery partner they will also get benefit out of that, and as a restaurant I will also get benefit out of that. So smart supply chain definition you can see. So yes, are inconsistent, literature have proposed so many definition, but the concept is often referred to in terms of the different stages, drivers of supply chains, technology involved, applications and characteristics. So one by one we will see smart drivers of supply chain. When we talk about drivers of supply chain, we talk about facilities, we talk about information, we talk about transportation, we talk about sourcing, we talk about pricing, and we talk about inventory, right? So smart supply chain. So when you are talking about smart supply chain, these 6 drivers should be smart. Smart facilities, warehouse should be smart, automated warehouse should be there, right? You should not handle things manually, and your record should be automated, should be shared with the manufacturing unit immediately, right? This is smart warehouse system. This is smart facility warehouse I am talking about. If this facility is, we are talking about the manufacturing facility, how you can build up the smart factories. So smart factories also, you are taking decision based on information, real time information, and automated production lines are there, where robots are taking decision. Anything going wrong, they can take the corrective measure, and if they need the machine requires predictive maintenance, they can predict when the maintenance is required, and then it can be done, right? Information, obviously smart real time information, so that we can make those decisions. Transportation, so the very common thing, we are using GPS, right? How we can take the smart routes with the minimum fuel cost, with the minimum time, and considering the weather condition, considering the traffic, all those things. Sourcing, how we can convert sourcing into smart sourcing. We can purchase from the vendors who are kind of smart contracts we can set up, right? So that is plus point. Pricing, smart pricing system, where not only as a manufacturer you are getting benefit out of that, your customer should also be delighted, your stakeholder should also be delighted. How you can go for smart pricing strategy. And then inventory, when you have that real time information, how you can minimize the inventory, so that inventory cost can also be minimized. Or maybe somewhere at the central location you can manage the inventory, from where you can channelize the inventory to all different locations, because you know very well from where the demand is going to come. Let us maintain very big distribution hub here, and from this we can channelize the inventory. So we need to convert all these drivers into smart, right? And then data streams and digital aspect, because these drivers will generate so much data, right? Big data will be there, and then using IoT, big data, we will convert this into smart supply chain, where the decisions will be made based on the whatever data is generated through all these 6 drivers. Based on that only we will go for sourcing. Based on that only we will go for pricing. What price you should keep today, right? Based on that only we will maintain inventory, daily inventory, today, tomorrow, how much before noon, afternoon, how much we need to maintain the inventory, right. So, characteristics: interconnected, intelligent, adaptability, instrumented, interconnected, intelligent, automated, and integrated and innovative. How you can, these are some of the characteristics when you are talking about smart supply chain. Intelligent supply chain, where supply chain all parameters will be set as per the requirement, right. Automatically they are taking the decision which when they need to change the parameter, when they need to go for the next stage information or decision, right. Smart manufacturing, we have advanced technologies, data driven processes, so that we can go for manufacturing in such a way which will be more efficient, productive and flexible, right. So, if we need to shift from one model to other model to next model, easily we can shift that, because we know that this is going to be the demand for that particular model from the market. We can monitor that, we can analyze that, and we can optimize our manufacturing process. How you can do that? When you have that digital world, internet of things connected, you have data points, touch points from where data is being generated, and you are collecting that data, right. Artificial intelligence you are using big data analytics, cloud computing, and then you are doing the predictive analytics, and your system is intelligent, taking decision based on you. Now we need to shift from model A to model B. So then we need to shift these many units will make of model B, then we will go to model C. This is how we will take the decision. So, smart supply chain management hierarchical model is there, given by Zhang in 2023. This is level 3. All these technologies what we talked about right now will be the base of this at level 0, right, when we will talk about the smart supply chain management. And this will lead to smart unit flow, material, either you are talking about the material is flowing through the supply chain, it should be smart. How much level we need to maintain the flow of the material, right. Information, where we need to maintain finance, how much finance is required, how it is flowing through the channel, and when customer is paying, how many different options they have, they can pay, right. How you are paying to your vendors. If smart contract is there, right, if you have smart contract with your vendors, that means whenever you have accepted the material, no need to go for raising the payments to that particular vendor, because it is smart contract. The moment you will accept the lot, automatically the contract will be executed and payment will be done to the vendor, right. Smart drivers, already I discussed about all these drivers which are the base of any supply chain, right. So, how we can make that, and smart decisions will be there, because these are based on real time data, touch points we have, and from those touch points we are generating huge amount of data, and then we have smart function, visibility, real time optimization. This will lead to level 2 smart supply chain network, which is defined as interconnected, intelligent and innovative and self organizing and self optimizing. Self organizing and optimizing, again I am telling and stressing more on that, because here we will not take the decisions on our behalf, whatever are the parameters, like if you are recording the weather condition, right. So, maybe you are recording temperature, pressure, humidity level, and then you are saying that today 95% is the chance that rain will be there. How much rain will be there? 50 millimeter rain will be there. So, that means if that this is the time period, the rain will be there, right. Now, how as a smart supply chain you will take decision, your system will take decision, will take the automatic route, so that your supply should not be interrupted. Okay. So, in that way you will be responsive, more responsive to customer demand, to anything which is happening outside. You will be more efficient, because in advance you know resilience, nothing will happen to your supply chain, agile supply chain will be there, quickly you are responding, flexible, and you are hitting the sustainability also. So, then we will come up with the smart supply chain, which will address all the issues of your sustainability. Economy, how? Because we will be more efficient, we will be consuming less resources, lesser cost. Environment, because we are consuming less resources, you are depleting less environment. and society, as a society, they will be benefited out of the smart supply chains, because this value is being delivered to the customers, right, to the society. Just quickly, if we will go through the traditional supply chain, talking about transparency, no, we cannot talk about transparency in supply chain. Physical documents are flowing from one end to other end, and now if you talk about the transparency, everything is being shared through all the stakeholders. Still at that level it is not maintained, because see, if I am visiting your store, let us say I am visiting Maruti Suzuki store, maybe for getting my vehicle service. So I am visiting that store and something goes wrong, so that they are recording the information there, or maybe feedback form we are filling, offline form we are filling, no online form is coming, and even if it is online it is coming. So whether the same information is, because that is the official service partner, right, the same information is going as it is to Maruti Suzuki, right, so that they can take decisions when they are outsourcing these service part to different agencies. Data collection, obviously here will be effect will be there. As I talked about, at region level you will compile the demand, then you will compile demand district level, then at state level, then at country level, that you can see the world level how you will be compiling the demand, right. So this data collection will be difficult, but if you are talking about the smart supply chain, quick data sharing will be there, information sharing will be there. The moment the touch point is generating data, the same moment it is being shared throughout. Responsiveness, here we are low responsive to the market condition, because today something is happening in the market, maybe after 6 months or so we will react to that. Traceability, right now highest level of traceability is going on, and if you are ordering something and then you know how you can track the order, but during the traditional supply chain, even if you are placing now order with the local vendors and then it is taking time, let us say again the Maruti Suzuki or any other automobile industry, you are placing order for a model where maybe 6 to 8 months waiting period is there. In between what is happening you never know, right. So let us say if the system is like that, right now whether the manufacturing facility has started making your unit or not. If they are making today, what is the process, what are the components they are integrating, what is the stage, what is the status, when they are going to dispatch, when you are going to receive in your nearby location, and when you can go for final having that product, right. So that you can do. Adaptability, so traditional supply chains are vulnerable to unexpected changes, which is obvious, because once the things will happen then you are reacting to that, right. So that is a reactive process, but now we are predicting in advance and we can plan for that. Feedback, just I quoted one example, whether that feedback is really going to the concerned person who is responsible for providing those services, or it is being stuck there only where we are filling that form. Key components of smart supply chain: sustainable practices, as I talked about, optimizing energy consumption, reducing waste and minimizing environmental impact, because now we are utilizing less resources to deliver your product. We are smart manufacturing factory, we are consuming less power, less resources, less raw material, and those raw material which are more greener. So that means we are taking care of the sustainability parameters. So you can give this information on your packaging as well, so that customer will get this information that while producing this product, this much carbon footprint was left out, right. Agile and resilient supply chain, because in advance the market condition, you can analyze the real time data you have the predictive analytics, so then you can go for the that kind of quick resilient supply chain, because in advance after 5 days you require maintenance for maybe your machine, right. So that you can plan. Responsiveness, again very important aspect of supply chain, and how quickly you are responding to your customer requirement or changing market conditions, and if any disruption is happening, how you are responding to that, right. So that will define your responsiveness parameter. As a smart supply chain, right, you should be smart enough to predict what is going to happen, and if anything going to happen, how you can ensure your agile manufacturing, your agile supply chain, so that if even anything going wrong, even then you can ensure the smooth supply of the material, right? Efficiency. So, efficiency initiatives in a supply chain help to streamline processes, reduce waste and optimize the resource utilization. So, earlier this was the input, this was the output. Now, what is happening? Either you reduce the input, still the output is same, you are more efficient, or maybe at the same level of input, now you are producing more, or maybe you have increased little bit in input, but output is more. So, these are the ways you can be more productive, how you can be more efficient, right? So, because that quick information sharing is there, so productivity is there. Flexibility. So, that is again critical enabler of success in a smart supply chain, allowing organization to anticipate and respond to changes in demand, market dynamics and operating conditions, right. So, whatever is happening in the dynamic environment, business environment, you can easily figure out that, and then you can develop your resilient supply chain, right. So, because you know in advance, so you have different options to deal with that risk. So, that way you have the flexibility, right. So, real time visibility, because we are operating with IoT sensors and devices which are continuously tracking the movement of the customer, movement of the goods, and then within the factory also we can find out where the bottleneck is right now, where we are stuck in the manufacturing, why it is not being processed further. So, there is one bottleneck, maybe breakdown is there, maybe something has gone wrong. So, throughout that supply chain you can track that. Predictive analytics, big data analytics and AI algorithms are used to analyze large volumes of data collected from various sources, including your IoT devices, production systems and external factors such as I told you, the weather conditions, the market trends, right. So, those all things you can predict in advance and you can plan for that. Automated processes, whatever are the routine processes, you can just automate those processes, because the robots will take care in a better way, because these are repetitive process, we need not to interfere, and every time we need to touch that 100%, so robots will take care of that. Dynamic optimization, now that is not the time that you collected the data and then you are making the decision. During this whole day you are making decision, first thing, and when I am saying whole day you are making decision, that means you are reconfiguring again your function. If you are talking about the forecasting demand, so how quickly it is changing in the market, same way you are implementing that function, right. So, that is why we are saying that automation should be there. So, we should not interfere, right, as human being. So, machines will take the decision based on the market conditions, and that will only happen if we have the collaborative network. It is not that this we can leverage only for the manufacturing unit or only for the warehouses or only for the transportation or only for the raw material suppliers. So, all throughout this supply chain, all should be interconnected, and that ecosystem platform should be developed where the information is being shared throughout, right. So, talking about smart supply chain, first thing is resilience, how it will add, because supply chains are increasingly vulnerable to disruptions and challenges, which is obvious, and recently we have seen when the operations was shut down, right. Then you might have seen the panic buying, people started buying product in bulk so that they can meet demand in future. So, there is no such hike in the demand, but people are buying more because they are unsure about the future supply. So, how your supply chain is resilient to handle this kind of disruption or any other disruption? If any natural disaster happens, right, how up to that point where the supply chain is okay, how up to that point you can still supply the material, and how quickly you can bounce back in the affected area. That will define your resilience right. So, by embracing emerging technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, blockchains, companies can create a smart supply chain that enables a real time tracking, proactive risk management and seamless coordination, right. So, that means in advance you can respond to the disruptions or any if you are talking about disasters or cyber attacks also, because we are talking about too much about being smart, right, based on digital network. So, then this becomes very important how we will take care. And obviously, speed, reliability and agility are the major points which will the benefits the leverage will get out of implementing these technologies, right. So, efficiency in smart supply chain, with same number of inputs how we can produce more, or with lesser input how we can produce more, that is how you can be more efficient. So, you need to minimize the expenses, the waste, the effort in terms of human effort or machine effort, the raw material you are using, how you can minimize, right, how you can minimize the rejection in the manufacturing. That also can add to, if you are not producing any rejected material, that means that is the material you can finally consume in the market, right. So, this is how usually we are calculating the efficiency, what is the actual output, what is the expected output, and somewhere if we want to be in somewhere around 95% efficient all the time. So, efficiency in smart supply chain, cost reduction, if efficient, using less resources, wastage will be, no wastage will be there. So, you will be cost efficient. Resource optimization, because you are utilizing less resources, so that is why you are reducing cost. Faster response time, no delay in the supply chain, no rejection in the supply chain, quickly you will respond to the market condition. Improved customer services, because customer are also satisfied, they are getting on time, lesser cost, sustainable measures are being taken care. Risk mitigation, in advance you are predicting the risk and then you are mitigating. And environmental sustainability, because you are minimizing the resource consumption, you are minimizing the impact on the environment, so that way you are more environmentally sustainable. Sustainability, closed loop supply chain, upstream or downstream. So, how after the use of the product you are using, you are again collecting the material and then ensuring the reuse or recycle, right. So, these dimensions, economic, environmental and social dimension, how your smart supply chain is addressing. So, we have one full session on this closed loop supply chain and recycling and green and sustainable supply chains, right. There we have discussed in detail. So, sustainability key elements, economic value creation, this is one aspect. Minimization of resource consumption will lead to productivity, will lead to economic measures, will lead to less degradation of the environment. Collection, sorting and recycling of waste material, how that waste material can be reused in the same industry, can be recycled for some other industry inputs, right, those way. So, we can address profit, people and planet by addressing these issues of sustainability. So, implementation of smart supply chain, this is one example of IoT based sustainable smart supply chain. This is how customer is approaching, one touch point, right. Sensor nodes are there, how it is generating the data that is being shared with manufacturer, with the transportation agency, with packaging, with supplier, with warehouse, everywhere information is going, right. So, real time collection of data. At this suppliers, again touch point is there, we have sensor nodes at warehouse, during packaging we have sensor points, in the plant, in the transportation, everywhere you have touch points from where you are generating data and adding to your cloud, and cloud computing is being done, and for these all functions you are taking the information based decisions. This is one example of blockchain based sustainable supply chain, and you can see smart contract which I was talking about. You need not to interfere. Whenever you are receiving the material, it is okay, the contract will automatically execute. Next time whenever the inventory level will go below the safety stock, again the contract will be, purchase order will be raised, right. Consensus, cyber security, immutable and decentralization of the records will be there. These are the features, and obviously will blockchain supply chain will ensure transparency, traceability, trust, responsiveness and accountability. And what else is required to maintain that healthy supply chain? You want to ensure these parameters to all your stakeholders, and then all these are continuously dealing with all these activities, and the material is flowing from one end to other end to other end, right? And again you are reusing that raw material using closed loop supply chain. This is cloud and AI based sustainable smart supply chain. During those stages of supply chain, here also you are generating data, here also from everywhere information is going on, from every point information is going in the clouds, and in the cloud you are doing the analytics, you are doing the prescriptive analytics, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, you are defining what happened, why this happened, in what way this can happen in future, and how we can control it and the way we want it to happen, and we can control in that way, right? So these all decisions in predictive analytics we will take, and decision will be issued for raw material suppliers, for manufacturer, for customers, for the closed loop supply chain, for the disposal also, how we will go for recycling, right? This is as simple as that. Here we are processing the whole information and decision making is being done for all the stakeholders. Another example, smart grid power distribution system. We know we have these many resources from where the power is being generated. These are the consumption points. We have smart factories, we have homes and cities, and we are using to charge the vehicle, right? So from where how much energy is coming? If 20% is coming from this point, maybe thermal is adding more, maybe 35%, right? And then only maybe 2% or 3% is coming from here. So then we can see how much energy we are utilizing, how much is coming from different sources, and then we know that this is very sustainable source, leaving minimum impact on the environment. How we can go for the strategies where we can get energy, more energy from the wind generator, right? So smart power distribution system we can design in that way. So that's all for this. These are some of the references. You can go for further reading. Thank you very much.